Hey everyone, today we're going to do a classic song called Love is a Losing Game by Amy Winehouse. It's so lovely, it's really cool, really kind of jazzy, quite soulful, very emotional, a little bit funky as well if you want to strum it that way, and it's a great one to do. You can play it easy or you can play it hard. I'll show you both. Let's begin. The song itself doesn't use many chords, there's not a lot really going on, a lot of repetition. It uses a verse and a chorus structure, and there's an F diminished 7 chord thrown in here and there. Okay, let's begin with the F diminished 7. Okay, not many of you will know this shape because it's a little bit uncommon. The chord itself can sound kind of ugly if you don't use it in the right context. To play it, index finger goes on the 3rd fret D string, middle finger 3rd fret B string, ring finger 4th fret G string, and pinky 4th fret high E string. Okay, that's the chord. Okay, so 2 fingers are on the 3rd fret, and then 2 fingers are on the 4th fret, and they're kind of split. So it's a 3rd fret, then a 4th fret, 3rd fret, then a 4th fret. The way I like to look at it is, this shape here is almost like a D, moved up a string, and then up a fret, and then you add the pinky on at the 4th fret, a high E. So just to recap, 3rd fret D string, 4th fret G string, 3rd fret B string, and 4th fret high E. That's your F diminished 7. It's a nice tension chord, because once it kicks in to the next chord, it sounds quite lovely. That's the whole point of diminished 7 chords really. They build a bit of tension and they make the next chord sound a bit sweeter because of it. So you got that, and then a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it kicks in. What we're going to do now is look at the easy version of the chords, and then I'll show you the harder version, and I'll show you my little arrangement. Okay, so the first chord we're going to do is C major 7, and the easiest way to play that is like an ordinary C chord, but minus the index finger, so it's an open B string. Okay, which is cool. And then you've got a D minor 7. Easiest way to play that is like a D minor, but with an extra note on the 1st fret. So middle finger goes on 2nd fret G string as usual, but index finger bars across the 1st fret of the B and high E strings. So you got this. Okay. Again, just going to strum it for now. So you got C major 7, D minor 7. Then you got F minor 7. And this one's a bit difficult because you're going to have to bar across 4 strings now at the 1st fret. So you're barring across from the D, G, B and high E at the 1st fret. Okay, and that's what you're going to do. So practice that, get tight into that fret as close as you can. Really feel like your fingers pushing the fret, but not on it, because if you're on it, it'll start to mute the string. So you want to get right tucked in, fingers straight, from behind, lots of pressure. Okay, that'll take a bit of practice, but you'll get stronger at it without a shadow of a doubt. Try and roll round onto the outside of your finger as well, that side. Okay, so you're rolling around to the outside, because that's a bit bonier there. Get a bit more pressure. Okay, so that's the 3rd chord. Then you go back to C major 7. And then you repeat. So it's C major 7, D minor 7, F minor 7, C major 7. Now you can play the F minor 7 like this, or as an F minor in the standard bar version. So that's where you bar across all 6 strings, and ring finger and pinky would go on the 3rd fret of the A and the D strings. That's difficult anyway, it's really hard. That would be F minor, and F minor 7, which is even harder, would be where you remove the pinky. Okay, if that's a struggle, then just do a little 4 finger bar across the 1st fret. Okay, so structure: C major 7, D minor 7, F minor 7, C major 7, and then repeat. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and again. 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's nice and simple, that way of strumming it. That's your verse. Okay, now you're going to do your chorus, which is A minor 7, which is like an ordinary A minor with an open G string. So you remove whatever finger, usually the ring finger for most people, whatever finger's on the G string. So you've got 2nd fret D string and 1st fret B string. Everything else is open. So a bar on A minor 7, then a bar on D minor 7, bar on F minor 7, and then C major 7. And now we go back to C major 7, D minor 7, F minor 7 again, and C major 7. Finally, back to the F diminished. That's your chorus. Your chorus is actually very similar to the verse. All you do is just replace the first C major 7 with an A minor 7. But you do need to know where the structure is in terms of what chord you're playing when, because you need to remember the end of your chorus, you've got the F diminished 7. So to recap, your chorus is A minor 7, D minor 7, F minor 7, C major 7, C major 7, D minor 7, F minor 7, C major 7, F diminished 7. It all sounds like a mouthful, and I'm saying 7 a hell of a lot here, but they're all 7th chords. That's what you get in this kind of jazzy type of music, a lot of 7th chords. And major 7s, minor 7s, diminished 7s, all sorts of 7s. 7th heaven. Okay, so that's the structure of the song. At the end of the 2nd chorus, instead of playing the C major 7 at the end as a proper strum, whoever playing guitar on this track just rings out. So there's a nice little ring out there. Okay, so you don't have to do the full strum, and I'm going to show the full strum in a minute. Just do a little ring out at the end of the 2nd chorus. Okay, and before you go into the F diminished 7. And it's the same for the end of the song. The very last chord in the song, it's a C major 7. Just ring out, but you don't do the F diminished 7 that time. Okay, now we're going to look at the strumming, which is really cool. Okay, the way I strum this one is I go use the modern strum pattern. So I'll go down. So if you know the modern strum pattern, great, because if you know more materials, then you'll definitely know the modern strum pattern. I use it a lot. So many songs do. So it's down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 and again. And then. So down, down, up, down, up, down, down, down. Okay, break it up into 3. You got down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. 3 little chunks, separate them, then put them together. So it becomes fluent like that. Okay, that's pretty much what I strum every time for it. I do a little variation where I do funk it up a little bit, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. First of all, let's just play the verse through with the modern strum. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's what I tend to play throughout, and apart from on the F diminished 7, which is just a ring out. So you just strum that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, count to 4 basically. Everything else, use the modern strum 4. Okay, now I'm going to show you the little bit more advanced way of playing it, where it's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more funky, and we're going to show you the little variation on the strum itself that makes it just that little bit more interesting. First of all, let me show you how I play the chords for the verse. What I do is this. For the first C major 7. That's a lovely sounding voicing, and jazz players will know this one because they use it a lot. Index finger plays 7th fret high E. Middle finger plays 8th fret on the B. Ring finger plays 9th fret on the G. Pinky plays 10th fret on the D. So you notice they're all going in a nice diagonal line. It's quite a linear looking chord, which is lovely. You strum those 4 strings. So with a modern strum, okay, that's the first chord, the C major 7. Then I go into D minor 7 like this. And that there is a bar across the 5th fret from the A string. So my index finger's barring at the A string all the way across. Then my middle finger's on the 6th fret of the B string. And my ring finger is on the 7th fret of the D string. Okay, so you get this. So 5th fret A string, 7th fret D string, 5th fret G string, 6th fret B string, and 5th fret high E. So that index finger's playing 3 different notes, but barring across all 5. Okay, so again with the modern strum. Okay, and the next chord is the F minor 7. To play that, all we're going to do is take that shape and move it up 3 frets. Reason why, it's a minor 7 chord shape we're playing, but this note here is F on the 8th fret of the A string. Like this note here, the 5th fret of the A string is D, and that's why that's D minor 7. Okay, that's the first 3 chords. Then you've got the C major 7 again, and you can play it like we did before. You can go back to this, or you can play a different voicing. Now, because you're getting the same chord coming back, it's nice to mix it up a little bit. Instead of playing the same, chord for each bar, because don't forget, the section finishes in the verse, finishes with C major 7, and then it starts again with C major 7. So when that happens, I do like to break it up so that you get a definitive end to the section itself. So what I tend to do for the 4th bar, when we go to C major 7, is play this version, which is lovely. I love this version. And all that is, it's like an A major 7, if you know that, moved up and turned into a bar. But let me show you. It's index finger barring across the 3rd fret, from the A string all the way to the high E string. Ring finger 5th fret on the D string, middle finger 4th fret on the G string, and pinky 5th fret on the B string. You should get this. That chord there is just so lovely, so jazzy. You can do all sorts of real good, cool, jazzy stuff with that. Okay, and then we're going to strum that. So we've got a couple of different ideas here in this more advanced version. We've got C major 7 up here, D minor 7, F minor 7, C major 7. Okay, that's how I play the verse. So I've got those 4 different shapes there, which is interesting. Like I say, you can mix and match any of these ideas in this tutorial. But what I tend to do in the verse, and the guitarist on the original does something very similar, where he plays a higher version to the chords like I am here for the verse, and then in the chorus, even though it's still very similar chords and pretty much exactly the same, he drops down into the lower versions of the chords, so it sounds a little bit, varied basically. So for the verse, if you can do it, I recommend playing these higher chords. And then when you get to the chorus, switch to the lower chords. And there you go, you have a nice bit of contrast, which is lovely. It makes you sound more sophisticated as a guitarist, and it makes the chords, even though it does the same chords, makes it sound so much more interesting, and it gives the song a nice new lease of life, rather than playing everything high or everything low. But if you're struggling to play the higher chords, just stick with playing it lower, and you can look at varying your rhythm instead for the verse and the chorus, and get your contrast through that. Now I'm going to show you how to funk up the rhythm slightly. So when playing the higher chords, instead of going down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, we're going to go down, down, up, mute, up, down, 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 up. So that's going to be like this. Okay, hear that little bit of a mute where I take the pressure off with this hand, which means I get a scratchy sound with this hand. And that sounds like this. And all I'm doing here is going down, down, up, and then when it comes to this down, I'm lifting the pressure off, and then putting it back on for the next up, down. And then finally, for the down, down, up, it stays on. So don't forget, the strum pattern itself is down, down, up, down, 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 up. It's that middle section, that up, down, where the variation comes in. So it's up, mute, up, down, in the middle. Okay, so you got down, down, up, mute, up, down. Slowly, that would be like this. Up, mute. So pressure off, pressure back on, up, down. In isolation, that little bit on its own would be. Now you're going to have to practice that really slow at first. And get the coordination. It's all about lifting the pressure off with this hand. That's how you get the mute. So, up, pressure off, down, pressure on, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down. A bit faster. And then you put that back into the normal strum pattern. So down, down, up, mute, up, down, and then the final down, down, up at the end. And all together, without me waffling over it, sounds like this. And again. Now that's very difficult. That's a lot more advanced than just the basic strumming, and especially when you're using higher chords, higher voicings, it is quite funky, it is quite intricate. But the thing is, you don't have to play exactly like that. You can mix up the strumming any way you like. Just by throwing in random mutes, by lifting the pressure up, you're going to get some interesting sounds. So you could do something like this. You know, just that sort of variation there. If you've got good rhythm and a good ability to mix and match strum patterns, this will be easier. My course, Strumming with Soul, of course, is out there, and that's what I go through a lot of. You know, being able to play different strum patterns, mix up strum patterns, be super solid with rhythm, and putting all that together really helps with these kind of ideas. You could strum the song any way you like. You don't have to use the modern strum. You could use a down, 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 up strum. You can use that on the higher chords or the lower chords. Mix and match, have a bit of fun with this one. Learn it like I showed you, use the basic chords if you like, use the higher, more advanced chords if you like, use the arrangement I suggested where it's high in the verse, low in the chorus, and just have a bit of fun. Put the tune on, because it's absolutely gorgeous song, really, really, really good song. And it's a little look at getting you to start playing a little bit more 7th chords, a little bit more jazzy feel, with a touch of funk in there with the strum. You know, but it's basically going to have a lot of fun with this song because it's a beautiful song. And God bless her soul, Amy Winehouse, absolutely lovely singer, great voice she had, and this is a great song. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you in a video soon. Let me know what you think. Cheers. Bye bye.